let us talk about methods and goals, and let's define methods. A method. Many people have a hard time to understand what the esoteric paradigm is all about. The paradigm is about transformation and hard work. You have to go to the gym every day. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to become part of your life. You can't go to a gym to train your body one time a week and think you will have great results from it. Everybody knows that. But as soon as we come to an esoteric method, it seems that people love to fool themselves that they can work for half an hour or do a ritual a week and they will be transformed. Or they don't have a method. They don't need a method because they are already close to the light by believing so or think they are. Of course, this is delusional people and they don't know anything about esoteric practice. And they certainly don't know anything about a left-hand path method. And of course this is a left-hand path channel, but I will talk about different methods here today, and I will talk about goals, because method and goals goes together. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve in your life? What is your aim? If your aim is to end reincarnation, go back to light, many people have that aim. They view this material reality as something evil, something they want to escape from. That's fine. No problem for me. And I respect everyone's goals as long as I don't try to force it on other people or force people to join and become part of it. Now, if you want to end reincarnation, you might go to the Buddhistic religion, or you may become a Lurianic Kabbalist. The Lurianic Kabbalists work with the Tree of Life, and the Tree of Life is a method how to become one with the light. Apparently that is evil, according to the Christians. They want to become one with the Creator, and therefore I don't know what's evil about it, but alright, they don't know what it is. They confuse the Lurianic Kabbalah with the Qliphothic Kabbalah. They don't know the difference. You have to know the difference. Therefore it's very important to know theory as well. And you have to know who you are. Know thyself. And therefore know what your goals are, or your goal are. You can't use a method with the aim to come back after reincarnation and continue the work here. If you want to end it, then you need another method. That's two different goals. Some people believe that you can use the left-hand path method in order to go back to light as well, but according to me, if the aim is to end reincarnation, it's better to use the Lurianic Kabbalistic method than the left-hand path. If you use Lurianic Kabbalah as a method, your aim is not to come back here again, but to end it. Therefore, who are you? What is your goal? Why do you want to achieve the goal you set out to achieve? Why are you here? What is the purpose? Your purpose? How do you know that if you don't know yourself? If you start to work or go to a gym with a certain aim to have a certain body, it's not good to change after half a year or 2 years ahead. Now you have a body like a bodybuilder. Now you want to be fast and have enduring muscles. Well, you look like a bodybuilder. So it seems to be foolish to me. And we all have made this mistake. Don't get me wrong here. When we start the esoteric journey, we might try a different method because we don't know what it is all about. But when we get older, we have to choose a method and stick to it. Otherwise, you will not achieve anything. When we come to people who doesn't understand that they need a method, of course they will not achieve anything. Doesn't mean that they can't be born with certain abilities. Some people get things for free when they are born. Some people have an easier time to soul travel. Some have started their life by having spontaneously out-of-body experiences and so on. That is good and bad. Those people can draw the conclusion that they doesn't have to work for results because they get it for free, and they don't know that there is much more to this than only that skill that is given to them. People who have very hard time to transform or to experience the metaphysical might quit because they think it's too hard to achieve, and they fail. And by failing, they start to despair, and then they convince themselves that they don't need method because they are close to the light anyway. Bullshitting themselves and their environment. Of course, we find a lot of people in New Age movement like that. People like that in the New Age movement and other fake organizations. If you are honest and if you really want to achieve anything in this life, you have to work for it, and that's the purpose. When you work for it, when you go over to the other side or experience the metaphysical, it becomes part of you. It becomes part of your journey and your experience. And your experience cannot be changed for reason or thinking about it, or have a thought about it, or believe in something. Every honest esoteric practitioner knows that it is through experience we gain wisdom and power. We are not philosophers, we are not theorists as such when we come to method. We need to experience it. We need to have a method how to go from the material to the metaphysical so we can experience it and integrate that experience within ourselves. Now the problem comes how to break the surface, how to go over to the metaphysical. Now your biggest enemy is your brain. You have to calm down your brain, because your brain only wants to experience this reality of matter. Try to keep you here, whatever it takes. Your mind is wandering about all the time, thinking about the day who have passed and about the future. It will never shut up. It will never shut down. It will always calculate for you. Is this method, is this esoteric path worthwhile? I have to work hard. I can go to the gym and have a better body, better looking body instead of a better looking spiritual body. Because a physical body you can show up for the neighbor. You can waste your time working and get money, and then you can buy stuff. Why should you sit in your temple, your esoteric temple, and do work when you can do other stuff? You have to beat your brain to it. You have to program your brain. You have to reprogram your brain with a new program. It has to be a second nature to go to the gym, to your spiritual temple, and do the work. You have to overcome a lot of programming. Some methods are evil and some are less evil, but all methods are evil. You're supposed to wait for someone to save you. Everything that can transform you is evil. If you buy into that, you are lost, and they have you. And your brain won't want it to be true, because your brain wants to keep you here in matter. You need to calm your mind. You have to allow your mind to take you to the other side, and then you have to shut it down or calm it. And that is a method in and of itself. How do you calm your mind? How do you overcome mind? Well, the Buddhist would say, well, go and meditate. Shut it down. Meditation can be used in the left-hand path as well, because meditation is good to calm your mind, but that's only the start of it. You have to continue with other methods if you don't have the same goal as the Buddhistic religion. I know there are different Buddhistic paths as well, and some of them are more left-hand pathy than right-hand pathy, right? But I want to make it very clear here and easy understood. Now, are your goal to go to nirvana? And maybe you want to be a Buddhistic monk. Do you want to come back here and continue the work after your body breaks down? You have to decide that. Know yourself. What is your goal? Now, if you have chosen the left-hand path, you have also chosen to come back or continue the work in next reincarnation. Now we need a method that allows that worldview to come to fruition. We work with the cliphotic tree. But before we work with the cliphotic tree, we need to have access to the cliphotic tree. How do you get access to the cliphotic tree? What is the start of this method? Left-hand path method. Well, it is actually Kundalini and chakra work. So when people are talking about that left-hand path and the cliphotic tree is first and foremost an answer to the Jewish faith, and to the Kabbalist, no, it's not. The Kundalini and the chakra work come from India and from the Varma Marg traditions, the left-hand path. And the left-hand path, the name of it comes from India. Varma Marg means left-hand path, and left-hand path is a feminine path. It's a dark path. It's the path of severity. This path is not for all. This method is not for all. You have to master your mind, master your fear, realize that all propaganda out there is false. Just think about Baphomet behind me. What comes up in your mind when you view the image of Baphomet. Evil, danger. Baphomet is only a metaphysical concept, has nothing to do with gender in the material world. It's a metaphysical concept, but people cannot even wrap their mind around that. They don't know what the metaphysical means. They haven't been there, they haven't experienced it, therefore it's just an idea. If you don't use a method to cross over to the metaphysical, then you don't have a map to go back where you finished. You need to know how to cross the barrier over and over again to experience what is at the other side. And you need to continue the work there. Therefore, you also need to know where you finished last time. That is hard work. Now, when you have worked with the Kundalini chakra, your body temple will be transformed. Your body temple, flesh, is lead. You have to transform it into gold. In Left Hand Path, we use different symbology, symbols like Baphomet. A lot of different symbols, theory, gods, spirits, all of those things has to be programmed into your body temple. Your body temple, when you start, is programmed by society, your childhood, which you have experienced. Now you have to overwrite that program with a new program. When you work hard with the symbols, the colors, God's spirits, you start to overwrite the old program and you reprogram your body temple to have a different frequency, to vibrate in different frequency. Now you start to have access to the metaphysical if you do the programming in the right way. As long as you don't rewrite the old program, your mind is stuck in matter. And it will try to keep you in matter. They do whatever it can to keep you in matter. The only time it loses control over you is when you go to sleep. And you end up in dreams and in the astral. And sometimes you might have lucid dreaming. Good. If you have lucid dreaming, you know about the astral. Well, you might say, well, I got to the astral through dreams without method. Therefore, I don't need method. I don't need to work. But that was just a fluke. You want to go there when you want to go there. You want to have control. I do this method, and because of this method, I go there. And because I go there, I can experience this in the metaphysical. You can say that I am good at lucid dreaming without method. Good, but that's only the start of it. You have to go from A to B, from B to C, without losing track where you want to go next. Because we want to go further than the astral realm. We want to go into the mental as well, and further. To go astray can be dangerous in the left-hand path. To miss the lessons, the wisdom, before you go further can be devastating. It's not a game. This is not a hobby. This is a lifestyle. This has to be understood. What do you want to find on the other side? What is the goal to find there? Well, your highest self, among other things. And we call that the diamond, your highest self. The unpolluted self. Who haven't been programmed by society. Who haven't been programmed by childhood in matter. the pure you, unspoiled. When you find that, you have come far on your journey. When you manage to cross the material into the metaphysical, you have taken a huge leap forward. And this work is hard work. Many times you will come to a standstill. You don't go forward every day. You fail, you stumble and fall. You can even go backwards. Now you have to stay your ground. When you come at a standstill, you have to push, and when you break the surface, you will take a giant leap forward, not a small one. It will be like be hit by a iron fist in the face, and your worldview is shattered, therefore the death card in tarot. The old self dies because you have experienced something new that cannot be thought of, but it can be experienced. It has to be experienced through method. Or you can have like a near-death experience without method because your body is close to shut down, and you wake up and you realize that reality and life is not what you thought. But now what? Now you still need a method. What does it mean for you? Now you're a different person. Who are you? Know yourself. Reinvent yourself. What is your goal now? But you shouldn't change goals. But what I mean is that if you're a person who have never thought about the metaphysical, about the spiritual aspect of life, then that kind of experience can shake you into start your journey. If you have been into esoteric philosophy, theory and so on, thinking about this for a long time, then you should make up your goal, especially if you're a little bit older. Now you're theorizing, your philosophy has to become method and goal. How to achieve it. Otherwise you will be an armchair magician talking about this. You cannot talk about the metaphysical. You can have an opinion about it, but your opinion is not that valid. And when you walk the walk through method, that you will understand and gain wisdom, and this is the purpose. The time when humanity got these gifts for free is over and have been over for 12,000 years. Now we have to work for it. Because through work we gain wisdom, and wisdom with the power we gain is an absolute necessity. Look at the human race, what state it is in. Do you want every one of these people to get this power for free tomorrow? They are hopelessly programmed by the machine, by society. And the brain keeps them there no matter what. And you can't convince them of anything else. This reality doesn't exist for them, and what you can't imagine cannot exist. But you have started to imagine that there can be something else, and this is the start of everything. When you start to imagine that you can become something else, then you have to ask yourself, how do I realize that goal or that imagination? How can I make it into a reality? Now you need a method. Some people cannot imagine things. They're completely stuck in the machine. Doesn't mean that they are worthless, or you never know. But you have a unique opportunity if you have come this far. Now you have a choice, and you should make that choice. And now you have to understand that that means hard work. In the beginning of the left-hand path, you have to understand that you have to let go your mind. And you need guidance. You need something to help you over to the metaphysical. In the beginning, you have no strength. The spirits, the gods will help you over to the other side, to the metaphysical, in order for you to experience this and start to understand what it means and what it is. But the further you go, the more control you get. But in the beginning, you don't have any control. You need to surrender and to trust and to let go. And that is very, very hard for us humans, because we love the idea of being in control. But you don't have any control. Not yet. You can have an illusion of control, but for the time being, your brain or your ego is playing you. Now, this ego concept is a big thing as well. The ego is evil. We should do away with the ego. No, you should cultivate your ego. What do your ego want? What is the goal for your ego? What is the aim? If you view a rock doesn't have much of an ego, but a plant, a tree has some ego. It wants sunlight, water. An animal have more ego, much more ego. It wants food, security. And a human have much more ego than an animal. But you can view the human ego in different levels. We all want food, water, and the necessity of life. And then we want a house. Your ego wants a house. And it wants sex. It wants family. And then the ego is tired of that. Now, tired, when I say tired, I mean your ego is not satisfied with only that. Of course, there's nothing wrong with family, food, and so on. But your ego is not satisfied. Search for something more. You are not in control of your ego, but you feel inside that your ego is not content. Now your ego wants money and power. And when you have gone through that process, your ego wants something more. It's not content. Why money? Why power? Of course, our politicians who are servant of the machine only want power and money. Their ego doesn't drive or strive for something more than that. But you might want knowledge, to know more, to search for knowledge for the sake of knowledge alone. Now your ego starts to drive or strive for knowledge. But then what? I know everything there is to know about this material reality, but my ego is not satisfied. Now we start to think about the spiritual. Can it be something more to this reality and to me? living in it. Your ego starts to strive for something higher. Now you start to think about the things I'm talking about. And this is a huge step. Now you have to decide, and now you have to understand what it means to be spiritual, or to have an esoteric method, and to have a lifestyle that allow you to go forward, that allows you to break the surface into the spiritual. Otherwise it will become a pipe dream only. This is a unique opportunity, but many people will never take that opportunity. I would say 95% of so-called spiritual people, esoteric people, are that in name only. They are talkers, philosophers and theorizers, playing games, try to convince you that they are something they are not. That's not left-hand path. Now, people can claim to be a left-hand path without being a left-hand path practitioner, but this channel is about the real honest people, and therefore I will talk about method more and more on this channel. Now, how do we break the surface? What is the method? How do I go from A to B, from B to C, and so on? And I tell you, the start of the journey in the left-hand path method, Kundalini chakra work, is very important. Get used to the idea that you work with the Kundalini chakra almost every day. You will get a lot of benefits from it. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to be a new program you overwrite the old one with. All the symbology, all the colors, all the gods and goddesses we surrender ourselves with is there for a purpose. Therefore you can't change method back and forth, because then you change to programming. You want to program your body with your temple, with. That program should be clear cut. You cannot flip-flop. You cannot program yourself with 10 different programs. You can play guru if you want to, but it won't take you anywhere. You can talk about different methods, different esoteric theories or organizations. In the end, it will not take you anywhere. You are free to do so. You are free to theorize about things. But you are not a left-hand path practitioner. I hope I made a couple of things clear here. I understand it's hard to get it into the mind, and we will continue the method series. And I will do it more and more, because this is the most important part of the left-hand path. If you want to achieve anything, you have to work for it. If you want to achieve anything, you have to understand that this is a program, this is a language you have to stick to. You cannot flip-flop between different methods. You can't be a Lurianic Kabbalist and a left-hand path practitioner at the same time. You can't take in different method into the left-hand path paradigm and think you will have results. Now, some method can be useful into the left-hand path as well. Meditation is good to calm your mind. Yoga is good to cultivate your body temple. But you have to understand the difference. Okay, I hope I have cleared up some misunderstandings, and that you know what this channel is about, and this part of the channel where we talk about methods. I will post another part in this method series next week. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.